Hey, good morning, everyone. Jim back with you again for another morning time together or day time with you in the Word of God. And I want to make a couple of notes that I've just kind of made a decision on. We're not live on every channel, and it seems to be technologically very difficult to and intermittent to be live on every channel, every outlet, which is two Facebook profiles and YouTube at the same time, and a Facebook page. Very difficult to do it all at the same time. So what we're going to do is this. If you have an interest of continuing to watch this live, which is not really necessary, but if you want to follow an order, my suggestion would be that we just do this live on YouTube. Live on YouTube always works. Never have a problem on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is from now on, I'm only going to do the devotional, the word by word devotional on YouTube live. And then everything else I'm going to post thereafter. So we get on here usually at about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. and 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. We do that live. We'll do that live on YouTube. So if you want to see this live, you're going to have to go and subscribe on YouTube to Jim Folletti. Go to YouTube. It's free. It's easy. You can get it on an app. It's not any different. You know, a lot of people use Facebook. I'm not sure to watch videos. I'm not sure really why. YouTube is way better, way by far. Isn't even close. So my suggestion, if you want to see this live, go on YouTube. On top of that, on YouTube is all the playlists, has every video I've ever done, and it's all in order. So if you missed one yesterday, you can go right back. You missed one a month ago, you can go back. It's really easy to see. So from now on, I'm going to post only live on YouTube, and then I'm going to subsequently post right after I'm done, which may be 10:30 EST, Eastern Standard Time, maybe 3:30 GMT or thereabouts. I'm going to post the rest on on Facebook because it's just too complicated. I've tried this for months and I just cannot get it to be consistent, and I think it's unfair for you. So anyway, with that brief note, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. I just want to let you know. So here on out, if you want to see it live, it's only going to be on YouTube. I'm also going to make a post in reference to this, so we don't have this problem every time I try to do it. So anyway, sorry, this is the way it is. So other than that, we're going to continue today with the book of Revelation, and we've been in for weeks now, and we're going through the end times, the end days, the coming of the Lord, and we're going through the book of Revelation, the revelation of Jesus Christ. And yesterday we started into the first seal, which was Revelation 6, 1 and 2. And now today we're going to do 3 seals. And the reason is because we could do 3 seals because a lot of this is symbolic. And I want you to see the symbolism here, not on the actual results, but on the way they're ushered in. And I'll explain it here in a minute. What I mean. But we're going to do seal 2, 3, and 4, which is in Revelation 3 to 8. And we're going to discuss that because these are the continuation of the 4 horsemen, right? We had the first horseman yesterday, the white horse, and these are very symbolic. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. I'm going to read it. It's not that long. And we're going to talk about these other 3 horsemen and the seals that Jesus, the Lamb, is opening up. So let's take a look. Okay, you can see it here. And this is, again, John's observation on the island of Patmos as he's seeing things in the spirit, seeing the heavenly realm. John is saying this. He says, when he, this is Jesus, broke the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, come. And another, a red horse, went out, and to him who sat on it, it was granted to take peace from the earth, and that men would slay one another. And a great sword was given to him. When he broke the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, come. And I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard something like a voice in the center of the four living creatures saying, a quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not damage the oil and the wine. When the Lamb broke the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, Come. I looked, and behold, an ashen horse, and he who sat on it had the name Death, and Hades was following with him. Authority was given to him over a fourth of the earth to kill with sword, and with famine, and with pestilence, and by the wild beasts on earth. Okay. There is some really big imagery here. And on this, I want you to see that we have some symbolism and we have some reality, meaning practical reality. This is all real and it's all reality. It is happening on the earth and it is ushering in the second coming of Jesus. And this is a time that Jesus, being the He, as we read back as the Lamb, that He was worthy to open the seals. Okay? So He breaks the seals one by one by one. Jesus is the one ushering in these days. Make no mistake about it. And you'll see it here. And I'll show you. Actually, I want to show you really quick. You see here, and I'm going to, before I read it, let me grab my pen and I'll kind of show you. When He broke the seal, when He broke the seal, when the Lamb broke the seal. Okay? It is all 3 times, in addition to the first one, when Jesus Himself was the one who started these things to occur. Okay? So what He says is, He goes, when He broke the second seal, I heard the second living creature. What are these creatures to? The second, the third creature saying, and I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, right? The fourth, the third, and the second. This coincides with the first creature. What are these? These are the living creatures that we discussed who are in the presence of the throne of God, the one who has the head of a man, like the head of an eagle, the one who's like a calf, the one who's like a man, the face of a man. These are the same creatures. Okay? He does call them creatures. He doesn't call them human. He calls them as created beings. And the common belief is that these are the angels. But these angels are angels that are set forth with a task. Okay? And they are saying, what is He saying? He says in the first one, in the second one, He says, come. In the fourth, He says, come. In this third, He says, come. In the fourth, He says, come. He's saying these creatures are the messenger to John, saying, I want you to see this. So this is a heavenly perspective, if you will, of the creature, John being up in the spirit, in the spiritual realm, and the creature probably in the throne room of God, maybe not, saying to John, hey, come, I want you to see this. And they're looking down to earth. And here's the earth picture right here. Peace in the earth, right? You see it. And he says, and here's the earth picture. And here's the earth picture. Right? So this is the earth. So this is the spirit world. And this is the view. Come, and I looked, and behold. Right? And actually, it's probably there. And they're looking at the earth. So this is clearly, these creatures are clearly there to assist in the message that Jesus is trying to give in this book to us today. That's ultimately what it's about. And He's showing us a vision of what's going to happen in these days on the earth by the seals being broken, right? By the seals being broken by the Lamb, by Jesus Himself. So that's exactly what we're looking at here. So we're looking down from heaven, and He says, and what was being seen? Well, let's go over what's being seen. And he says, on another, this would be obviously after the first, this is the second, a red horse. The first one was a white horse. Went out to where? This is on earth. To him, and to him who sat on it. Okay. It was granted to take peace from the earth. Okay? Now, so this seal says, when he broke it, there's a red horse. Now, this is the symbolism. The red horse is a symbolic. There wasn't really a red horse. It's a symbolic image of the red horse, right? What does red horse indicate? Blood, right? Typically, red means blood, right? And if you could think about it, right? So there's that's kind of symbolic. And the hymn, okay, there's a rider on this red horse again. Now, yesterday I discussed this as being, I discussed the first one, and I think it was a mistake. I looked at it and I thought it was the Antichrist. And after reflecting on it and really seeing what this was meaning, the white horse was not, and the man sitting on it, the one sitting on it, the he, was given a crown. Okay? This is to symbolize control, authority on the earth. Okay? Here, the symbolic, it was granted to him to take peace. Same word, really. Granted and the crown given. These are both the same words as we had in the previous verses. So it was given to him to take peace. Again, symbolic language that this is a being on a horse that is given authority to take an action. So if you can imagine, this is an authority given to take peace. And this red horse and the one who sits on it is to take peace. It is not a physical person. Okay? It's more of a symbolic action. Now, whether or not it's an actual angel on it who's doing this, or there's obviously somebody executing this on the earth. Okay? An angelic being or something like that, but it is granted. It is granted by who? Probably by God. Okay? It's granted. In other words, it's granted by him to do that. And he takes peace from the earth, that men would slay one another, and a great sword was given to him. Who's the him? The one who sits on the horse. So there is a judgment being done here. Now, it isn't like the wrath here. It's a judgment being taken place, okay? And we're going to talk about why this is being done. Okay, what is going on here? And there's some speculation on this, okay? So we have here that this peace is taken. There is, and they're slaying one another. Okay? This is like the wars and rumors of wars. If you can equate that with what Jesus said in Matthew. Wars and rumors of wars. Great sword was given to him. This is kind of indicating a war, right? Going on. Then he says to broke the third seal. And the third living creature says, come and behold, same thing, a black horse. Indicating, and a pair of scales, right? This has got to do with what? Well, we're going to find out. And then John heard something like a voice in the center of the four living creatures saying, so again, this is the creatures that John is seeing, and he's hearing this in the background. A quart of wheat for a denarius. Denarius is a unit of measurement, a unit of money back in that day. Wheat is obviously food. 3 quarts of what? Barley for a denarius. Do not damage the oil and the wine. Very interesting in there. I'm not sure what that means per se. Do not damage the oil and the wine. It almost sounds like there is trade going on. Okay? This is kind of like a market, if you will. So there is a market of things going on. And there's a black horse. This sounds like famine. If that's the way you spell famine, I'm not sure. Famine, hunger, Could be something to do with the Antichrist here, not allowing commerce. Could be. Maybe not. I don't know. The reality is we don't really know 100% what this. We know this has got to do with food and famine. And the black horse really indicates the famine part of it. Okay? And I think that is indicative of hunger and that sort of thing. Because he says he has a pair of scales in his hand. Okay? So this has got to do with food and famine. And this also goes back to Jesus says pestilence. I think he actually says famine. So again, Jesus says, when you see these things coming, okay? So this would be hunger, right? You could say pestilence when you think of black horse, something like that. It says, do not damage the oil or the wine. Could mean pestilence there. Could be alluding to that. All right. Meaning it could mean that. I don't think so, but it could. Okay. And then it says, when the Lamb broke the fourth seal, I heard the fourth living creature say, come again. John looked, and behold, an ashen. This is gray horse. And what happens? And his name is Death. And Hades, very important key, was following with him. Okay. And here you go. Actually, it just says it right here. Authority was given over forth the earth to kill with the sword. This reverts to the first one. Famine and pestilence refers to these, right? So the result of, and this is an interesting thing, and by wild beasts, interesting. What we have here is almost a referral where what's happening with the great war and the second living creature is coming is death. Okay? So this is death. So we have the first one, famine and pestilence, in the third seal. And the second seal being the sword, war. What's the result of these things? Death. Okay? And the ashen horse is gray. Ashen means you look ashen when you're about to die, when you don't have any blood flow. You don't have any, you become white, you become gray. So that is definitely indicating that Jesus is allowing death to come into the world. So you have peace taken, causing a war. Hunger and pestilence, right? People aren't eating. Pestilence coming, right? All of it leading to death. So this leading to death, this leading to death. Okay. And even by the wild beasts of the earth. And I'm going to tell you, wild beasts, that isn't scripture. There's another part where it says the ravens come and kind of eat the dead bodies. I mean, it's horrible. Horrible scene. Okay. So here's the question on all of this. The question is this. What is going on? What is the reason for all this? Believe it or not, this is going to sound this is not the worst of it. This is the beginning of it. And the common understanding of this section, what we call the tribulation, and I think it is applicable here in these in particular. Because tribulation means pressure brought about upon them. Essentially, when you go through a tribulation, it's a trial. It's a difficult moment, but it doesn't always mean that you're going to die. Okay? It doesn't mean that it's going to end with you dying. It means that it's going to end with you maybe being changed. That in the pressure placing on you and I, as the pressure applies, then comes maybe a change. And the change that Jesus is trying to get to here is your and my and others' salvation. That the pressure of war and fear and the pressure of hunger and the pressure of the pestilence and people dying in front of us. All of that is bringing in and ushering in a time where people experience this. A lot of this is going to be mostly people to transform their lives to become to Him and surrender their pride. And this is the goal. So it's symbolic in the horses and the men on the horses, but the things that occur are absolutely genuine and real. So we could say that the wars and rumors of wars and the fear in the country and the world, and as these things take more and more account and more people die, right, brings about a worry. That worry brings about a humility. That humility brings about coming to the cross to be saved, looking to Jesus for the answers. Nothing in the world will satisfy but Christ and Christ alone. The same way in the third seal, hunger. We see this in other countries, a lot of countries in the world. Hunger's gotten better. It has. It's improved. But pestilence, right? You could say COVID. You could say that. That is a part, and it isn't pestilence per se. We think of pestilence, we think about many areas in Africa and in India, right? Great pestilence, great hunger, and these sorts of things, which is horrible to experience, but it is all meant to bring many people to the foot of the cross. Parents losing their children to war, to pestilence, to hunger, right? The goal that Jesus has is to break people's pride, to break them of their wrong directions in their faiths, to break that wrong faiths, choosing the wrong faith, not choosing Christ, having other idols, right? They idol worship themselves. They idol worship money even, right? And power. All these things are to break people. And that is the key. We want people to go down this road. And in this section, believe it or not, there is hope for the people experiencing these tribulations. Now, we're going to go to the 5th and 6th and 7th seals. We'll probably take them one at a time. And you're going to see a shift. There's no more horses, as they call these, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's not really accurate, right? Because, I mean, it is in a sense the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. But remember, these are things to bring people to the foot of the cross. There's a purpose in these things. This is the common understanding, and I would agree. These are the times that we still have. Your neighbor, maybe yourself, who struggles, who doesn't know whether to believe in Jesus and is very prideful, and they know better, and their brain, they think too much, right? They want proof, right? They want proof. You come to a point in suffering where you don't care about proof, you just need Jesus. The proof is out the window. Okay, looking at looking at stuff. I forgot the word. Where you're looking for proof of Jesus in the historical record, and you're looking at these things about, well, how do I know the Bible's true, and how do I know? And it was written back a long time ago, and we have all these texts and all this stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you, all that stuff. If you have to have that stuff, you don't have faith. Okay? What's accounted to us is faith, and faith alone. Not because you came there through some sort of academic assemblance to, you ascended academically to faith, to Christ. That's not faith. And I know we have a lot of books about that, the evidence of Christ. And we have a lot of books, the case of Christ, and these sorts of things, where you look in and you want faith, and you want to be brought there in your brain. That's not the way you're going to get here during this time. No, that's out the window. You're going to get there because you're broke. You're going to get there because you need faith, and you're done with yourself, relying on yourself. That's what this is for. Okay? This, you could also say, is maybe part of what we call the birth pains. Okay? It's possible that this is the same thing we're talking about, and I would think it is, right? Think of a woman going through birth and the contractions. You're not thinking about a whole lot. You're just thinking, this really hurts, and I want the baby to come. Now, this here is to usher in the man, the people to come. And during this time, you're also going to see in the next seal, many people die for the case of Christ, for the word of the Lord. Many people will die, and they're called martyrs, right? And they will come and they will die. But prior to this, there are people dying all around us who believe and don't believe, right? It will happen. Some of those people who die, the martyrs, people will see and love, and that they will see their faith, and that will bring them to Christ. So this is a time still where there's time left. When we get into the trumpets and these sorts of things, it's over. So this is the last time. So getting into this, and I'm going to end this shortly, I want to just bring out that during these 4 horsemen here, they are specifically here to bring us to the Lord and bring you, me, whoever, neighbors, family members to Jesus. And sometimes we need that. And you know what? If we suffer that and it hurts and eventually causes our death, but we come to Jesus or our neighbor comes to Jesus, so be it. That'd be a great thing. Because ultimately we're going to be with Christ forever. So that is a glory. That is the ultimate goal. We are not here for this world. We are here for the future. We are here to bring people into the family of God. So, okay, so application, meaning current events. Where are we in this? Can we say we are in this? Number one, it's geographical. So we don't know. Obviously, different geographies have different moments, right? Does the whole world go to war at the same time? The entire world? Okay. I don't know. Probably not. There are places in New Zealand that probably are not going to have war, or tribes in the middle of Africa. So no, that's not going to be war. It's going to be obviously geographical. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean they won't hear of it, which could be worldwide. Many people can hear of it. So that's possible. Is there going to be pestilence and hunger throughout the entire world? Maybe. I don't think so here. It's probably going to be geographical, right? It's going to probably be different time frames, right? We look at COVID, season of time, right? And are these deaths from things? Yes, there's deaths, but it's probably geographical. It's probably different moments of time. Okay? This is not, I want to be really clear. When you hear of, sometimes you think of the trumpets when you think of the judgment. You're thinking of the wrath of God. That's a different thing. That's where 1/3 of the earth is burned. Okay? That's a whole different world. This is probably extremely regional. So could we be in the beginning of these seals? And I would say, are there wars and rumors of wars? And is it regional? And is it happening more and more and more? I think you'd agree, yes. Is there pestilence and hunger? Yes. Is it going to grow? Yes. Pestilence happens a lot of times from wars, right? Look at the Spanish flu happened in World War I. Was exacerbated by World War I. Okay? So these things do occur and they build on each other. And then people die from the 4th horse. So these are probably seals that are building upon one another. Wars come, famines happen. Wars come, famines happen, people die. Not always, But you look at cities, places in Africa, due to wars, there's famines. This has been going on. So my opinion here, this is now I'm going to switch over to opinion mode. My opinion is that we are in these seals today. And they're going to gradually increase. That these seals are being broken today. And there are wars. Look at Ukraine and Russia. How many people a day dying? The worst death when Ukraine and Russia since World War II and beyond. Okay? And it's not just Russia. Okay? It's now Iran. It's now Israel. It's now in Lebanon. It's now in the Gaza. Okay? And it's centered around the region of the Middle East, a lot of it. Okay? Increasing. And it's increasing faster. This is the birth pains, right? Yeah, we had World War I, World War II, Vietnam, all these different things that have gone on. And Russians and wars in your countries. And rumors of wars. Pakistan with India. Africa, some of the tribal wars going on. But it's getting worse. It's progressing. Okay? And now it's progressing at a faster and more intense pace. Because now we're talking about the United States dropping 6,000 to 10,000 bombs in one day. In one day. Okay? Crazy. Crazy numbers. Okay? All of Gaza was destroyed. All of Gaza was destroyed by Israel. All of it. Every building is damaged. Okay? This is unlike anything we've ever seen before. Ever. You don't need even nuclear weapons. The power of the weapons alone, I mean, honestly, whether they dropped a nuke on Gaza or not, it's still all destroyed and all the people died. Many people died. They just had more time to escape. That it wasn't a nuclear weapon. Okay? So we see this increasing. So I will say to you, out of my opinion, we are in these seals. Somewhere in the seals, and each seal is progressive. So it's not like one time and moment. So these are progressing. Each seal, the ashen horse, and famine and pestilence is increasing, and people are dying. So we've probably been in these seals a bit of time. They're just getting, now they move into the birth pains faster and faster and faster. And it's not getting easier or lighter. But like birth pains, they have moments of pause. Okay? Don't forget that. Birth pains have seasons of contractions, seasons of rest. Seasons of contractions that are more intense, seasons of rest. Seasons of contractions that are more intense. That's that's how it happens. My humble opinion is we are in the tribulational period. I don't see anything else prior to this that says that there was something that ushered this in, other than the horses and Jesus opening up the seals. Now you got to look at context. We can look at a lot of context. We can look at the visions, and we got a lot of stuff going on. We have young men dreaming dreams, old men seeing visions. We already have that. We don't just have that in other countries. We have so many stories of that going on. So we have that coupled with it. There's a lot of things going on. So again, this is more opinion at this stage, but my opinion is we are in this tribulational period. Now, we don't know how long the period lasts. We don't know how long the seals last. That we don't know with these ones riding the horse exactly how long it's going to last. Now, when we get into the next one, which won't be tomorrow, by the way. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. It'll be on Thursday. When we get into the third, to the fifth seal, they were talking about the martyrs. Okay? And it does change a little bit. Okay? So I would say we're progressing rather well. And those of us who need to bring the gospel message of Christ to everyone, we need to love people and bring this message of Christ. Particularly those who are going through a lot of these tribulational periods. The harvest will become plentiful because of this, because of these seals. Don't waste the harvest. Don't waste these tribulational period. Reach out, particularly to people who are suffering in these times, because they may be just enough softened to hear the great and glorious message of Christ Jesus. So God bless you. I know I went long, but I really needed to just hone in on these. God bless you guys. I will talk to you I won't be back for some of you live on Thursday. For others of you, you can click to the next video. God bless you. I pray for you. Pray the Lord will bless you and that you will have many who come to the foot of the cross to give their life to Christ. Amen.